learned in the last week that the reach on the personal pages is where it's at. So we're going to be rolling on personal pages. Let me just start my audio. Shameca, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. So if you guys own your own business, you are a self-employed, you're a business owner, you sell high value offers, like you do monthly services of a couple thousand a month. You sell expensive items. This is the show for you. It's called Coffee is for Closers. Once a month, I have my good friend Shameca, who I finally get to meet in like a month. I'm very excited for that. Oh, you know what? Let me see, Shameca. Where are you on my live stream?
I'm hiding.
Oh, let me
check.
Can you see? Can I see you? Shift. Oh, shift. Oh, my bad. Shift. Okay, there you are. Can you see? Now we're both here. So for everybody on Facebook, Instagram, if you guys want to see both of us, pop on over to the Pitch Queen page. That is the page where when I have awesome guests like Shameca, that's where we're going to be hanging out. So it's kind of hard to do this two side-by-side thing over here. So what episode are we on? Man, this you guys is Coffee is for Closers, which, again, for those of you that are new, this is a live show. And, if you have questions about anything sales related, this is a good place to hang out. And, we go live every single Tuesday at 2:00 Pacific time. So we are going to get started. Again, real quick, if you're on Instagram or my personal Facebook page today, you're going to want to pop on over to the Pitch Queen page to see both myself and Shameca. So, all right, that's enough of the housekeeping. If you have a question about today's topic, please put it in the comments below, and I will go look at all the different comments later on. So, all right. Let's get started for today. I think I can still share my screen too, so this is going to be really cool. I think we finally got the technology down. It's about time, I've been doing this for like 34 weeks. So you would think after 34 weeks we'd be really with the program. All right, so welcome again to Coffee is for Closers, episode number 34, and we are talking about qualifying leads. This is a show for entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs, solo practitioners, like whatever you want to call yourself is awesome. And we're talking about qualifying leads because it's really important that you get to pick who you want to work with. Right, Shameca?
Definitely.
So, Shameca and I we've never met in person yet. So I'm very excited to meet her in about a month from now. She's going to be in San Diego, and we're going to be at Steve Olsher's big podcast event. So we're going to have a lot of fun, meet each other. But, she's been a resident guest here on Coffee is for Closers. And I'm really excited because she even said she'll be here like once a month with us. So we're going to be back here next month, the first Tuesday of the month. And again, it's at 2:00 Pacific time. But today is all about qualifying leads. So if you can see my screen, we are going to be going over Cup of Wisdom, the difference between a prospect and the difference between a lead. How to qualify prospects and leads. And you might be wondering, like, what the heck is the difference? Qualifying questions to ask your new clients, prospects, people you meet out and about at networking events, and changing it to maybe like always be closing. Granted, I'm all about always be closing, but always be qualifying, because the people that you really want to close and help, if you pick a bad apple, a bad client can really cost you a lot of money and give you a lot of headaches. And for me, give me extra stress that definitely I don't need right now. Sorry if I'm in a little funk. I'm definitely not in the best of moods today, but I'm going to try my best. And we're going to end it with some energy for the soul. So if you have coffee, water, tea, you can grab it. I've got my, Shameca, I don't know if you can see it, but I stay hydrated. And Shameca's really cool too because she does CrossFit. So we're both really into fitness. If you get bored later, you can watch my workout video on my stories on the Pitch Queen Instagram page. But I did record the video. I haven't done that in like over a month, Shameca. It's been let's say, a rough kind of week. But why don't we let Shameca introduce herself to all of the people here who might not know you?
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Shameca Tankerson. I am the creator of something I call the authority selling method, which is a very powerful framework for having conversations that both serve and sell. Like, I am all about closing as well, but I want to be of service as much as I possibly can. And so I'm excited to be here. I work with powerhouses who are high achievers, and because they're high achievers, they put lots of undue pressure on themselves, and they have this undercurrent of like self-doubt and limiting belief, and I help them to crush that doubt, charge more, and sell more without apology.
Yeah, and you're like really, really good. I mean, her and I have had discussions, if you want to go back and listen. I mean, we've talked about charging what you're worth and how to come over those fears. We've talked about sales mindset, because where your mind is really, really important. So I had to do some like major mindset work about 20 minutes ago to get a little pep in my step, because my pep has been not stepping in the right direction. So, I mean, not only mindset as it relates to your sales, but really in anything that we do, right? So make sure to go and listen to them, because Shameca dropped some major knowledge bombs. They're really good. Her and I are in total alignment with how we do things, our methods, our beliefs, how we come from service first, and then the rest just falls into place. So thank you, Shameca, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you. Honestly,
it's super cool.
Honestly, like, I might have even canceled if I had to do this one on my own today. Yeah, That's what a funk it was. But you know what? I got myself excited, and I said, you know what? I think I can have a really good time for about 30 minutes today with my friend Shameca. So it's an honor to be here with you, and thank you for putting a smile on my face today. So let's talk about the difference between a prospect and a lead, because people might not understand the difference, right? Like, I would say before, I didn't even really understand what the difference was. And I'll give you the definition that we got, from the Google. I'm sure you all know what Google is. And, Google really helps me get to the definitions, because I don't think I ever really paid attention in English class. So the leads are characterized by a one-way communication. So lead has reached out to a company or through a form or a sign-up, which I know that you use and other people use in the online space. And then they give you some information. Prospects are characterized by two-way communication, right? So it's back and forth. And prospects are created after sales-ready leads are contacted by like someone of your company, or maybe it's you because you work for yourself, right? So Shameca, what is your take on like the difference between a prospect and a lead? Because that was dictionary speak. And I don't really care for dictionary speak very much. I rather just have normal speak.
Yeah, so I think a prospect or a lead is someone that signals like, hey, I have a problem, and, maybe I'm a little interested. Mm-hmm. And I believe that they become a prospect when they actually go through a qualification process.
Got it.
Right? So they've raised their hands, they've said, hey, I'm interested, that's the lead.
Right.
And then when they actually go through a qualification, pre-qualification, whatever that process is for you, that's when they become a prospect.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with that. And I think one of the most important things is understanding that not all leads are going to be good prospects.
Right.
Right? Like, just because they contact you doesn't mean that they're the right client for you, or that they're the right fit for you, or they're the right investor for you. God, I could go on and on and on, right? Bad decisions. So, Shameca, how do you qualify prospects and leads? Or let's start with leads first, and then once they get to you, how do you define if they're like a good prospect?
Yeah, I totally believe in having this. Well, first, let me say this. I always say this to my clients. When you're working with people, you're not auditioning for American Idol. Like, you're not like tap dancing, like, look at how smart I am. Look at what my company can do. Because when you're in that state, you're not in a position of power where you can make a clear, level-headed decision. Is this a good fit, ideal client? Can I get the best result for them? All you're worried about is, how do I look? Do I look amazing? Do they think I'm amazing? And it's not the space you want to be in when making a decision as to whether or not you want to take on someone as a potential client. And I know that most of us probably have stories of people, we got little red flags about them. Right? But because we were so excited that they said yes, we didn't really think about the fact that those red flags meant they were going to be held throughout the entire process of working with you.
Right. And then the energy suckers that they become, and they suck your energy dry. And then have you ever had a bad or a lead that turned into kind of a bad prospect that you said yes to that actually ended up costing you not only stress and time and headaches, but maybe money too?
Most definitely. That's why my entire process that I use now it's because of that, right? You live and you learn. So all of these instances where I had situations where it wasn't quite the right fit, but I said yes anyway, allowed me to learn what my screening and qualification process is up front. Yeah. So that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, by the time someone gets to a conversation with me, it's really just the last pieces of making sure I want to make an offer to them.
Yep. And what do you do to figure out if they should even get to talk to you?
So the coolest thing is this. Here's what you got to understand about your marketing in the first place. When you're marketing in the first place, your language and how you talk to your potential clients, your leads and prospects at that point in time is already a filter. Right. So you're filtering from that point. If you could create content and create marketing with that in mind, it will begin to start to qualify people even at the point of the initial communication of, hi, this is my company. Here's what we can do for you. Because you're saying, here's who we serve. Here's who we don't serve. With people like us who are service-based professionals where we provide a service, our personalities, right?
Yeah.
It becomes a filter. How we show up. Some people are going to love me. Some people are not going to like me. Some people are going to love my purple hair, right? And some people are going to no, you can't have purple hair and service my company, right?
Well, I love purple hair and I also love purple lipstick and I think you rock it. So
thank you.
Yeah, no, I put some pink on to make myself look a little bit better today, but I said, whatever. It is what it is today. So no, that's a good way to do it. And it's just similar to I think we even talked about objections before, right? A lot of times at the end, you might hear clients ask you a bunch of questions or tell you, it's too expensive. I need to think about it. All those types of objections that you can actually overcome when you're talking to your clients, right? So this is very similar in what Shameca is saying when it comes to your prospects and your leads and doing it in your content and your marketing to start attracting and speaking to that right person. So when you actually talk to them, they're almost like a perfect fit anyway. Now it's just for you to qualify them to see, well, shoot, do I really want to work with that person?
Yeah. I think every step in the process is at each step you're saying, do I want this person to continue down the road, down this path, right? So from messaging, and then I believe that everyone should have some sort of pre-qualification process that becomes a filter for filtering out people who aren't ideal clients. And so what we use is a application process, right? So there's an application screening process, and mine's pretty hardcore. It's if you're not this person, do not press go, do not pay $200, go directly to jail, don't come out, right?
You're serious Monopoly. Yeah, that's serious Monopoly style. So Shameca takes Monopoly into her qualification process. Got it.
So this process is okay, there's an application, right?
Right.
Where you ask qualifying questions, not just random questions you want people to answer, but what you think about in this process is, if this person cannot answer this question correctly, do I want them to actually get on the phone with me? You get to see the mindset of the client. I have people go to my application page and they are like, I don't have time to fill it out. Guess what? You're not an ideal client for me because my clients have to put in work. Yeah. And if you can't take time out of your day to answer 12 questions or 10 questions, when I ask you to do something that's going to have an impact on your sales and your business, you're going to give me some kind of reason why you don't have time. So it becomes a filter for me to see, are they really an ideal client for me?
Yeah, and you know what's a really good point to that too? And I'll just share a story. Maybe you've got one because I want to give something tangible for everyone. You know, I'm all about taking action. So let me give you an example on how I qualify for even like at the Pitch Queen Empire of our royal family. We have some mini royal family of interns. And I love working with all the interns from San Diego State and Point Loma Nazarene and USD and all these local places because I believe that I didn't have an intern program that was legit when I was in college. And if I was able to get some real life experience, I knew that I would be able to have better opportunities, learn a bunch of things that you're never going to learn in school. And working with me, it's all sales, but I have a qualifying process just for even interns. And if they don't follow the directions, I don't even have another call with them. So it's really similar in working with your clients that you need to set up a process that shows follow through, that shows, okay, if they can't do this, then how are they ever going to work with me if we even got to that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've dealt with it really similarly. I mean, obviously on the client side too, but I've just thought about all these intern applications and I have them make sure they have to send me an email. And I can't tell you, I'd say about 60 to 70% don't follow directions. Yeah. Have you had any like crazy experiences or something, a story that you can share on qualifying prospects and leads?
I think one of the most powerful things that I'm doing now, probably over the last couple of years, is the biggest objection you normally get on a call is, I can't afford it, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
Let's talk. Yeah. So what I've done in my qualification process and what I teach my clients to do is talk about the money up front. So we talk about it on that application. We ask if you're ready to invest. We ask if you're ready to invest in a specific dollar amount. You know, what's your budget for something? Yeah. So it gets people understanding that on this call, we're going to discuss this and you've already answered for us if you're capable, ready, willing to invest or investing at a certain level, or if you have a budget for the scope of the project that you're trying to create. And guess what? If they don't, you get to choose to not move forward with that call.
Yeah. I mean, do they think working with you is going to be free?
I don't think anybody ever really thinks that, but sometimes I don't think people think beyond that. Right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't think about like what the investment was going to be. Let me go back and talk. So now we bring it up front in the conversation and they can talk about it with their team, their board of directors, their spouse. If they need to talk to their spouse, they can handle that conversation before they ever get on the phone, or they can choose to bow out. And what happens is, yes, we probably get a lower number of calls that we do with our potential clients, our prospects, or our leads at that point. But the quality of the people who show up to those final decision making or the mutual fit conversations that we do is so much higher that we actually have a higher closing ratio.
No, and that's a good point. I mean, I work with a lot of CPAs too, right? And for the CPAs, just to give you guys some ideas, I would come up with like 5 qualifying questions that you want to ask people. But some of them, like if they're not willing to give their tax returns to the CPA to figure out what's the best way to save money, I'm like, that's probably not a good client for you. Mm-hmm. If they're that scared, to do that and they're looking to save a lot of money in tax, well, how can you help them? You can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. So that's one. And then another one is, you have to show up to your appointment on time. I guess in that industry, they don't really show up a whole lot on time. So those are just some ideas, but I would recommend putting into play. Also, just a quick announcement. Shameca, I'm going to give you one of these when I see you. So you guys, this is not a whoopee cushion. This is actually a water bottle that you can travel with. So I hate traveling and then you have to like bring one of these, but it takes up too much space. So this flattens out and then you can fill it up with water. Oh, wait, no, not that way. You like screw it open. And so I'm going to do a giveaway. So everybody that shares this on your pages, I'll choose the person and I'll mail you one of these with maybe a hat and some candy or something. Chocolate. I like chocolate. So, but isn't that cool?
That's super cool.
Yeah, so I have one of these for you, Shameca. I also have a Coffee is for Closers hat. So
Awesome.
I don't know if you like hats, but again,
All right, I'll rock it.
you'll rock it. Okay, so if you guys want to pop on over to my Pitch Queen page on Facebook and share this and leave a comment. I want to know how you guys might be qualifying your leads. Like, what questions are you asking? I'm curious to know that, aren't you? I always wonder what people ask.
I was just thinking a great question for like your financial people, like CPAs or accountants, is like, because you want to think about how you want to work with the person, right? So asking them, what kind of system do you keep your financial information in right now? And if it's like, no, it's stuff in the closet in a Walmart bag, you're like, oh yeah, you're not my ideal client. I don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are you using right now to keep track of your finances?
You
right?
mean a shoebox doesn't cut it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, some people like that and they love to do that kind of work. But then there's other people that are like, you know what? I don't have time for that. I want to work with people who have their stuff in some sort of system already. They're already using QuickBooks or something, right? That's a great question to ask to filter out.
And also, if you're going to work with a business, you might want to ask what their revenue was for last year and what their revenue goal is for 2018 for right now. Because then you can qualify based on where their revenues are if you're helping them that has something to do with, money, right?
Right.
So for a lot of the CPAs, they want to work with businesses that are doing over 250,000 in revenue a year. Well, ask a question. Is your business doing 0 to 100,000? Is your business doing 100,000 to 200? Are you over 500? Like, that's another great example for the CPAs, depending on what types of clients you're really trying to attract.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. So we talked a little bit. What's the difference between qualifying or what's a prospect and what's a lead, and what are some qualifying questions to ask? And now it's time to shift from, always be closing. Shameca and I are definitely, I would say, closers. I believe that if you don't ask for the sale, you're actually doing those people a disservice, a massive one, if you're afraid. I have to just share a story, okay, Shameca, because you're going to love this. And if my friend's watching, hopefully you are, Kat, because Kat, this is for you. Okay. Kat is amazing at getting hundreds, I'm no joke, Shameca, 300 people in front of you from meetup.com. You know that, the meetup situation, wow. Right? So Kat and I are talking, and she literally talked herself out of that the client needed to hire her for about $10,000. And she said that, well, I have a better program. It's only $800, and I think that would be sufficient for you. And, after a 2.5 hour dinner, I shared with Kat, like, you actually did that person a disservice by doing that, because they're probably still stuck. Probably nothing's changed if you were to go back and ask. And it's just that fear and a lot of what we talked about a month ago, which was sales mindset, right? But so it's not on this topic, but I just had to share because we always have to be closing. If you have your own business, if you're a solo practitioner, if you're an entrepreneur, I don't know. To me, those are all the same terms, but my CPAs have told me that they're small business owners and they're solo practitioners, not really an entrepreneur. CPA pals, I love you all, but I think you're all entrepreneurs. So anyway, if you don't have a JOB, then, you're in business for yourself. I guess we should probably get the definition of entrepreneur for everybody one day. Anyway, but tell us a little bit, or tell me from your point of view, Shameca, like, what's the difference for you from shifting from always be closing to now really always be qualifying on the front end? Because the sales should happen actually a lot easier. That's my perspective.
That I think the sale happens as a byproduct of the qualification on the front end. Mm-hmm. And I even take it a step further. We do the application to qualify, but then we prepare them for that consultation or for that strategy session or for the sales call by starting to answer questions that we know will already be in their minds. And so I'm always looking for, how can I make this experience better, where it elevates my authority and credibility in the minds of the client before they ever get on the call, as well as I'm answering frequently asked questions. right? So we want them to know how much the investment is before they get on the phone. We want them to know, like, will it work for me? We answer that stuff by showing them client case studies and testimonials prior to the conversation.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a huge thing, and part of like what you and I are doing right now is helping people out so they get to actually know us right now.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Which is a big deal. You just gave me an idea, and we're going to have to do this another time, but I think we should have a live Q&A once a month too. Just with us.
We can do that.
Oh, see? How fun. See, all you have to do is ask. See, I just asked, and she said yes. But if I didn't ask, then I had a 50-50 chance that she might say no, right? But I got a yes, and it's all going to help you guys too. Tell us
a little bit. If I didn't ask, then I
why is it?
Don't mind me. I'm trying to look at chat. So I'm like.
Oh, chat. Oh, I see you. Yeah. Man. All right. Well, okay, you guys, again, for all of you that just joined, this is not a whoopee cushion. This is actually a water bottle. So if you want to pop on over to my Pitch Queen page on Facebook, that's where you can see Shameca and I actually together live. We're going to be here for a few more minutes, and we're going to be doing a little Q&A here at the end, but I'm going to mail you, I'll choose one person as long as you share it, like it. So thumbs up, hearts, share, and then you'll get one of these, and then maybe a hat. And these are really awesome for traveling. So I got them made because I can't travel with this thing, but this works. So, all right, Shameca. So anything else about shifting from always be closing to always be qualifying, or like when did you notice in your business that when you made that shift, you actually saw an increase in revenue significantly?
I would say almost immediately. And it wasn't so much that I noticed this increase in revenue as much as I noticed an increase in the quality of the conversations that I was having with the people who were coming to work with me, and how many people were saying yes. That number went up like a lot. It skyrocketed up.
Yeah, and I would have to agree with that. It's really crazy. So I'm going to share with you another little story, and it's with my CPAs. Obviously, I mean, I've been hanging out with CPAs a lot lately. Like, we are now all BFFs, and one of the things that when I talk to a new CPA that wants to maybe learn my friend's, high-level tax planning, some other qualifying qualifiers are, if you're not going to sit down and take notes with me while we're talking, then this, I guess, might not be that important. I've had people tell me that they want to talk to me while they're driving. Like, well, I'll talk to you while you're driving. I actually cancel and calls if you do that. And I highly recommend, like, for all my CPAs, they know that that is not okay. If you have a client that says they want to talk to you about their taxes and planning and all this while they're driving, A, they're not going to take notes, and B, they're not going to remember anything. Mm-hmm. Right? And then, I mean, there's so many different ways, but I think the biggest takeaway for today that and you add to it, Shameca, is really, what are like 5 things that you can do in your businesses to start qualifying your clients a little bit better? Mm-hmm. Because then your sales will only increase like immediately on the front end. And like you said, your conversations will probably be more fun too. Because you're going to be talking to people that actually want to talk to you.
Right. And that you want to talk to.
And that you want to talk to, yes. Anything else on that?
No, I think that's super powerful. Just understanding you get to choose. Like, you're at choice with who your clients are, who you get on the phone with. You don't have to get on the phone with everyone. And you don't have to continue a 30-minute, 45-minute consultation with someone. If you notice in the first 5 minutes that they're not an ideal client for you, you have permission. You can give yourself permission to end the call. You know what? I don't think this is going to be a great fit. Give them a recommendation if you have one, but you can send them packing. You can send them on their way. Yeah. You're under no obligation to give someone a 60-minute consultation when you know they're not a good fit for you.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're in the department of donating your time to everybody, but I just don't think we all have that kind of time anymore. And, obviously we do want to help and serve a lot of people, but you also have to choose who you want to help. So let's remind them of that saying that we talked about like 3 months ago.
What was it?
It was about your worth and telling people no.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Remind me. I say stuff sometimes that I'm like totally riffing. I'm like,
man, it was so good. I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but it was so good. So if you go back, like, I don't know how many episodes, but just go back and the first time we ever spoke, go listen to that one. All right, let's go into some
January,
questions.
I think.
Yeah, it was January 2018. So whenever you're listening to this, just go back in time 3 months. All right, Kelly has a comment or a question. Let's see. I always ask budget first. What are they spending now? What have they budgeted to spend? Because I work in social media, and most people think that only it will cost $5. Wow. Yeah, that's a really good deal, Kelly, if you only charge $5. But yeah, no, so here's some good qualifying question ideas. What is your budget for the service? What are you spending right now? I think that's a really good one. If you're, what happened? Did Shameca? Time out, guys. Shameca disappeared. Let me add her back. In the interim, if you want to pop on over to the Pitch Queen Facebook page, you can ask us questions and we'll answer them right here. So those are some good qualifying questions, or we'll just add Shameca right here. Okay. I don't know what happened with Skype, so does anyone else have a question? Because I guess it's just going to be me to end it today. Anyone else have any questions today? Shameca, what happened to you on Skype?
I have no idea what happened, so I'm like just on my phone then.
All right. Well, now you guys see Shameca on my Facebook page. All right. So we're now on to questions, everybody. So if anyone has a question, please type it in the comments below. This is all about prospects, leads, qualifying questions. This whole month on Coffee is for Closers is actually about qualifying leads and prospects and what are different things that you can do to help increase your revenues in your businesses. For those of you selling high ticket offers and high value services of anywhere from $3,000 to $50,000 a month. So if you have a question, we are now on Q&A mode. Any questions? Going once. Going twice.
Everybody's an expert at qualifying.
Everyone is an expert at qualifying. I think you're right. I think we've already answered the questions, or we just did such a great job today, Shameca, that no one else has any questions, which is totally cool. But okay, so Shameca will be here next month, April, the first Tuesday of the month, 2:00 Pacific time, 5:00 Eastern. And then we'll maybe throw in a Q&A sometime in there, or maybe we'll just do it the same day, actually. So you better come with questions, okay? But thank you, Shameca, for joining us today here on Coffee is for Closers. It was an honor to have you as always, and it was way more fun with you here today than doing this solo.
Thanks for having me. See you guys next time.
Okay. Bye, you guys. I don't know what happened to Skype.